Finally, the very rare trajectory. This is 3IATLAS. This is Mars. 3IATLAS is about to swing by, and a fleet of camera-ready rovers and orbiters are standing by to snap some pictures.
3 days ago, James Webb detected something that changed everything about 3IATLAS. The comet everyone assumed would safely pass. Mars has fired controlled pulses 23 times in the past week. Each pulse nudges it closer to a direct collision trajectory. NASA's updated calculations show a 73% probability of Mars impact in 127 days. But what terrifies scientists isn't the collision itself. It's that the pulses follow a precise pattern that suggests this comet might not be natural at all.
3IATLAS, whether it's a rock, a natural object, or perhaps it might be alien technology.
The visitor that shouldn't exist. Something out there moved in a way nothing in space should. It wasn't just fast, it was focused, as if it had a destination. That was the first sign that what entered our solar system on the 1st of July, 2025, was no ordinary cosmic wanderer. Comets pulled toward the sun usually slow as they shed ice and gas. This one, later named 3IATLAS, broke the rule. Its acceleration was too precise to dismiss as an error, and no natural force, gravity, solar wind, or outgassing could explain it. The discovery shook observatories worldwide. Then it changed again. Its coma, the glowing halo of gas and dust, brightened far too quickly, followed by ultraviolet emissions, spiking, and carbon dioxide outflows, surging as if something inside had stirred awake after eons in the dark. What had looked like a frozen lump of ice and rock began behaving like it had just switched on. The more telescopes turned toward it, the stranger it became. Instead of settling into predictable comet behavior, its path curved inward in a tightening arc, as if it were steering. Weeks later, ground stations detected faint rhythmic pulses hidden in its tail. So regular they looked less like random turbulence and more like a signal. In control rooms, the mood shifted from fascination to unease. The data painted a picture no one wanted to believe. An interstellar body, behaving as though it had intent. Its acceleration, its sudden flare, and now the measured, repeating pulse suggested not just an object, but perhaps a messenger, or something worse.
With 0 meaning it's a natural object, like a comet, for sure, and 10 meaning it's definitely a technological object.
And as analysts traced its arc forward, dread deepened. The pulses lined up with its new course, pointing straight toward Mars. Yet as scientists charted that deadly line through the void, they noticed something stranger still. Those pulses weren't just steady. They were too precise, as if every beat were a step in a countdown no comet should ever keep. The unexplainable 17-minute signal. The 17-minute pulses weren't random. They were surgical. James Webb's analysis confirmed what NASA hoped wasn't true. Each pulse delivered exactly the right amount of thrust to keep Mars locked in the crosshairs. Computer simulations showed the terrifying math. Even a 10-kilometer-per-second velocity change could shift a near miss into direct impact. That was the moment the chatter in mission control went silent. Comets don't keep time. The pulses weren't random jets of gas boiling off the surface, the kind that usually erupt chaotically as comets warm near the sun. These were clean, evenly spaced bursts, steady thrusts that behaved more like a propulsion system than a natural vent. Further analysis lined up perfectly. The bursts were deliberate, pushing the object with measurable force. That was when the excitement in the room gave way to unease. Ordinary comets stumble along on paths carved by gravity. their plumes kicking out in uneven sprays that changed little about their overall course. But 3IATLAS was doing something different. Each pulse gave it a tiny nudge in just the right direction, as if it were fine-tuning its approach. The math was clear. This was no random drift. Simulations at JPL added to the tension. Feeding in the pulse data, researchers found that even a modest velocity increase, just 10 kilometers per second, could shift its path enough to turn a distant flyby into a collision course with Mars. Worse still, the direction of each thrust lined up with the red planet's orbital plane, suggesting that whatever was driving the pulses wasn't wandering blindly through space. It appeared to be steering. The projected window for a potential impact narrowed quickly. By late analysis, the critical period may be sooner than expected.
We have to better understand how active this object is, and then we can find the size estimate and get a good idea.
That meant every new burst could tip the balance between a harmless pass and a catastrophic strike. Control rooms worldwide stopped treating the event as a distant curiosity. They were now watching a countdown. The shift in atmosphere was unmistakable. What had started as an exciting anomaly became a looming threat. Astronomers and engineers stared at their monitors, waiting for the next pulse, knowing that each one might be pushing 3IATLAS closer to Mars. But while all eyes stayed locked on the approaching threat, few realized the most unsettling response wasn't coming from the comet at all. It was coming from the planet, waiting in its path. The planet that answered back.